Causes of the Civil War, Battles and Plans. Kansas-Nebraska, 1854. The act was designed by the Democratic senator, created territories of Kansas and Nebraska which opened the land for settlement and had effect of repealing the Missouri Compromise of 1820. White male settlers were allowed in territory to decide whether they would allow slavery. Uncle Tom's Cabin, or Life Among the Lowly, is an anti-slavery novel by American author Harriet Beecher Stowe. Published in 1852, the novel helped lay the groundwork for the Civil War, according to Will Kaufman. The Dred Scott decision was a controversial ruling made by the Supreme Court in 1857, shortly before the outbreak of the Civil War. Dred Scott, a slave, sought to be declared a free man on the basis that he had lived for a time in a free territory with his master. Leading Kansas. The Border War was a series of violent political confrontation in the divided state involving anti-slavery, free state, and pro-slavery. Border ruffian elements that took place in the Kansas Territory and the neighboring towns of the state of Missouri between 1858 and 1861. The Battle of Gettysburg, fought from July 1st to July 3rd, 1863, is considered the most important engagement of the American Civil War. After a great victory over Union forces at Chancellorsville, General Robert E. Lee marched his Army of Northern Virginia into Pennsylvania in late June 1863. Compromise of 1850. Senator Henry Clay introduced a series of resolutions on January 29, 1850, in an attempt to seek a compromise and avert a crisis between North and South. As part of the Compromise of 1850, the Fugitive Slave Act was amended and the slave trade in Washington, D.C. was abolished. Bull Run Battle of Definition. The first battle of the American Civil War, fought in Virginia near Washington, D.C., the surprising victory of the Confederate Army humiliated the North and forced it to prepare for a long war. Appomattox Courthouse. The Battle of Appomattox Courthouse, fought on the morning of April 9, 1865, was one of the last battles of the American Civil War. It was the final engagement of Confederate Army General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia before it surrendered to the Union Army under Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant. The Battle of Antietam. The Battle of Antietam was also known as the Battle of Sharpsburg, particularly in the South, fought on September 17, 1862, near Sharpsburg, Maryland, and Antietam. The Gettysburg Address is a speech by U.S. President Abraham Lincoln, one of the best known in American history. It was delivered by Lincoln during the American Civil War on the afternoon of Thursday, November 19, 1863, at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, 4.5 months after the Union armies defeated those of the Confederacy at the Battle of Gettysburg. The Anaconda Plan, a military strategy proposed by Union General Winfield Scott early in the American Civil War. The plan called for a naval blockade of the Confederate littoral, a thrust down the Mississippi, and the strangulation of the South by Union land and naval forces.